even though there was just hints of romance, those like situations where something was happening were like, they were like good. I'm just gonna tell you now, it was good. Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and welcome to the second weekly vlog of June. So it is Monday. If you watched my previous vlog, you know that I am currently doing the magical readathon, the Make Your Myth Taker and Olympic Games readathons. Currently I am in the middle of two books. So firstly, Knife House by Leigh Bardugo and also Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. So I'm just gonna go off an assumption you watched my first vlog or at least know vaguely what these books are about, but I have read quite a lot of the Knife House today. I'm about halfway through and I'm really enjoying it. Really captured my attention now, and I really like what I'm reading. It has some difficult topics that it's talking about, but I'm still really liking it. It's good stuff. I am about 36% into Before the Devil Breaks You. Again, really good book. It is a bit awkward because I usually don't end vlogs mid-book. You can tell me how you prefer me to talk about it. Should I just introduce the book all new or not? But like I said, I don't have too many updates. I just wanted to say hello. I'm gonna update you as soon as I get way more into Knife House, and we are gonna be starting our next book, which is gonna be Percy Jackson, which actually now became the group book for the Olympic readathon. It used to be The Lovely War. There were some concerns about the use of N-word in it. The host decided to change the group book to Percy Jackson, and we're gonna be reading that. I was gonna read that anyway for my reread. This also means that I'm changing the book that I'm reading for the Hermes prompt, which was to steal a book. So like you might know, I was stealing a book from Nicole and her books, and she was reading Lovely War because it was the group book, and now I'm going to be reading Crier's War. So here's the all updated chart that I have, and we're just gonna kick this off. Welcome to Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday. And I actually have finished The Knife House, which you saw some footage of me finishing this. And boy oh boy, this book is so good. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, which I was kind of shocked myself. Okay, so since in this vlog I haven't really told you what it's about, let's just like briefly say it so we can discuss it. So in this book, Yale has secret societies which all have affinity to magic. The main character, Alex, can see ghosts, and she gets into Yale because of that. Shenanigans ensue. There's a lot of detective work in this, which I enjoyed. I wasn't expecting the detective work. If you watch my first vlog, you know that this has a non-linear timeline where we kind of see what happened in Alex's past, and then when she got to Yale, and then when she is right now. I feel like that I thought would be quite a mind-boggling thing, but actually I got used to it quite easily, and I did not feel that confused, even if I didn't really pay attention to, because all the titles are like last spring, last fall, winter, blah blah blah. But even if you don't pay too much attention to the titles, you should be okay. What I really enjoyed was Alex as a character. I think she obviously had a really hard life. She came from kind of humble origins, and because she could always see ghosts, that had quite a big impact on her. So she had a hard life, but I feel like she is a very realistic character. She is kind of playing the role of a detective in this one, like, you know, that one teen that goes on detecting even though they're not supposed to. I'm gonna put it here because it's heavy. But at the same time, I feel like her motivations really made sense. Why she did it made sense. She made so much sense that the whole story made sense and didn't seem ridiculous in any way. Additionally, I really like Darlington. Darlington is kind of a mentor figure to Alex. So he is only in parts of the story, but I feel like at the beginning he had the opportunity to be kind of a caricature of a character because he's supposed to be the golden boy, the Mr. Perfect, blah blah blah. But I feel like he's actually really interesting, and I really got to like him a lot. There's like hint of a possible romance in the future in this book, but it's definitely not romance focused. So if you're not into romance, I think you'll be perfectly happy reading this book. But at the same time, I feel like there's so much more room for the characters to develop a really strong good romance further on in the series, because it is a series and I need the sequel right now. Even though there was just hints of romance, those like situations where something was happening were like, they were like good. I'm just gonna tell you now, it was good. What I additionally really liked was the lore. I think it just made a lot of sense. It really talks about privilege, about who goes to college, about college culture a lot, and about especially in like Ivy League school. And this whole book is really grounded in reality. This really has this gritty feeling of realness to it, even though we're discussing like portal magic and shape-shifting and that kind of thing. Even though it's obviously an occult setting, at the same time it just feels so real and so grounded in reality, and all the characters seemed very real. That being said, a lot of the secondary characters that were introduced, they all kind of blended into the same archetype, and sometimes there was a big reveal, someone came in and I was like, who? I don't recognize you, mister. The way that is portrayed that these secret societies are really run by really powerful people who their alumni are all like bankers and freaking presidents and blah blah blah. It really shows the Ivy League culture, let's say, in real world, and how, you know, if you go to one of the schools and you are from money, you're likely to remain in money, you know. And Alex is really an outsider because she got through different means, let's say, so she really feels like an outsider, and you really get a feel for that. I think the one weakness of this book, besides maybe the secondary characters, was the ending. I feel like even though there was a big reveal, let's say, I'm not talking about the last, okay, if you read the book, I'm not talking about like last page reveal, I'm talking about the final showdown. There was a reveal, and although I wasn't expecting it and I was surprised, I feel like it might have come into a little bit of tropiness, and maybe a little bit of Lee Bardugo's background in YA showed, because I just felt like, oh, I've seen this ending so many times. Not necessarily book's fault. Again, I didn't really see it coming, so I was surprised. So for that, it did do a good job at being revealed. I guess no matter how you would have ended it, it probably would have been the same vibe. It's just a minor complaint. All in all, I did really enjoy it. I just absolutely cannot wait for the sequel. I think it's gonna be so good. Obviously, it's not gonna be for everyone as well. You have to really like dark academia, you have to like really dark gritty stories set in reality, and maybe probably not having a good ending in the end. The reviews are so mixed on this. I went online right after I read it, and one, it would be like Knife House review 1, why this book is garbage. 2, why this book is amazing. 3, why you should never read Knife House. 4, why you should read Knife House. It was just like, people either hate it or they love it. It'll either be their thing or not. I think a lot of people maybe read her YA works and really enjoyed that and was looking for something more similar. This is very different from her YA works, so it makes sense that some people, if they went into the book with assumption of, oh, I liked this kind of work she does, I'm sure I'm gonna like this. Don't let the negative reviews completely sway you, because I also put off reading this book because I thought I would not enjoy it, and I ended up loving it. So there you go. I said it already 2 times but or 3, but I'm saying it again. Cannot wait for sequel. Where the sequel at? Can we just be in 2021? For many reasons I want to be in 2021, but this is just another one. Alright, that's it for the update about the Knife House. And now I have already started a Percy Jackson and The Lighting Thief. I did just read 1 chapter last night, so I don't have too much to say, but I'm gonna say right off the bat that it feels really young, and I am surprised. But it makes sense because the main character is 12. So I'm not 100% sure what year I read it, but I read it after the last book was out for sure, because I read all of them in one go. So that was 2009. So in so let's say I read it in 2010, right? I was 12. So let's say I read it when I was 12. I read it actually this when I was the same age as the main character, which is just crazy to think. I don't remember this feeling super young when I was reading it, but it makes sense on the other hand because I totally read this when it was age appropriate to me. But now I'm reading it, I'm like, this feels like a middle grade, which I was expecting something more like Harry Potter. Like, I feel like Harry Potter is a middle grade, but it doesn't really feel like a middle grade. There's nothing bad about feeling like a middle grade at all. It's great that it's age appropriate, and you know what, I'm super excited to read this and see how I'm actually enjoying the whole series, because Percy also, I think he starts when he's 12, but there's 5 books, let's call it 5 years, right? So when he ends the book he's probably like 17 or something, which is much closer to my age now. Whoa, I realized I never even told you what this is about. So Percy Jackson and The Lightning Thief is the series on which Olympic Games is based off, which is one of the readathons I'm participating in. In this world there are Greek gods, and they have always been existing alongside humans, so occasionally they go down to Earth and make a little baby, and those babies are called demi-gods. Percy is one such baby, and he finds himself in a lot of danger when other Olympians suspect him of stealing the lighting from Zeus, and for that reason he needs to protect himself, and he goes to Camp Half-Blood. Camp Half-Blood is a place for demigods where they can kind of live there for the summer, train. It's kind of a fun camp, but also usually it's quite dangerous. It's like Hogwarts, you know, you go there and you're like, yeah, it's cool, it's gonna be super safe, and then someone dies every single year, you know, so it's a similar vibe. Anyway, that's it for the updates. I'm gonna update you once I get a little bit more into this. I'm really happy I finished Ninth House. I was not expecting to finish it so quickly, and then I just could not put it down. So I have the special Waterstones edition, and there's bonus content, right? And the bonus content, it's a chapter annotated by Lee Bardugo, which is like awesome and stuff, but I cannot read her handwriting. Like, I just cannot. It's not, I cannot read it. So this is just lost on me. Maybe I'll try it one day, but yesterday I was like, no. Update time. I am now 200 pages into Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, so over halfway through, and I love it. It's just so good. It just makes me nice and happy. I do remember most of what's happened because of the movie, but still I'm enjoying it. I'm so excited to jump into the next books in the series that I don't remember anything about. So far so good. I don't have too many updates, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's nothing really I want to discuss here. I just really love this, and I am also quite a way into Before the Devil Breaks You. 53%. That book is just so amazing. I absolutely love that. I am halfway through and it feels like I should be at the conclusion of the book because so much has happened. So absolutely brilliant. Love it. I am so sorry for the shitty updates. The books I'm reading are just good, but I don't know what to tell you. They're just really, really good. Weird because I just watched it. Anyway, hello, it is Sunday and I have finished Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief about 2 days ago, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's really well written. It's a very engaging middle grade, and I really like that it talks about Greek myths, which I know when I was a kid I absolutely adored, and I was always so interested, like reading all the Wikipedia articles and all that kind of thing, and I feel like this book really had a lot to do with that, so I really enjoy it. I think it's a great book for children. I like that it doesn't talk down to the reader. I feel like everything is described well, but it also touches upon some more serious topics and has a lot of like moral discussions. It felt young as in the writing, and maybe the thinking of the main character was young, but the book never talked down to people and they didn't underestimate how smart 12-year-olds are. The only thing about the book that felt a bit disjointed for me was that it was really episodic, and what I mean by that is we start the quest, it's like this obstacle happens, we solve it, then this obstacle happens, we solve it, this obstacle happens, we solve it, and it felt a bit like watching Avatar The Last Airbender, when each episode is like a separate adventure, but then they all kind of complete an arc. But like not every single adventure or detour they took really was necessary for the story, but at the same time it really bonded the team, and usually they got something out of it. So it was alright. It's just something I've noticed. Otherwise, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Since then, I have gotten about 70% into Before the Devil Breaks You again. Really good book, but not that many updates. It's just good throughout, but there's nothing, especially since the third book in the series. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil anyone. All I'm gonna say is I keep enjoying it, and it's really good, really well written. I would highly recommend it. And now I have started Crier's War, which is a book for the Olympic Games readathon, and it's the prompt to steal a book from someone. So I am stealing it from Nicole, like I told you before. This book is a sapphic sci-fi novel, and we follow a world where humans created Automa. I'm not sure how to say it. Automa, kind of like a robot, but they're very intelligent, very lifelike robots. Think Westworld, that kind of robot. Humans created them many millennia ago, and since then the Automa have taken over the world, and it's the humans who are subjugated. So our main character, Crier, is a daughter, and I'm saying daughter because she's not actually descended from this person, but she has been made because she's an Automa, and she is the daughter of the ruler of a country, and she is promised to marry another Automa who is kind of a symbol of new wave of thinking, because her father believes in traditionalism, so kind of mimicking the way that humans lived, and he believes that Automa should be separate and should create their own culture, not base it on human archetypes, let's call it. Then another character's name is Alia, and she is a human. She has lost her family when she was quite young to the ruler, and she really wants to take revenge on Crier's father, because she feels like he has been subjugating humans and bringing a lot of pain to them. So she decides that to take this revenge she should kill Crier. This would be a fair revenge for her losing her family for him to lose his family. She is a servant at the palace, so that's how they meet. So far I'm really enjoying it. I think it's written really well. I've enjoyed the world. It's sci-fi, but it doesn't really feel very futuristic, except for the fact that Automa are the ones ruling the world. It actually feels a bit like it's humans, but like from the past. Like they wear ball gowns for balls, and they live in palaces. They have like outhouses, not toilets. So it all feels very outdated. So if you're looking for like really futuristic sci-fi, then probably not what this is. But I'm enjoying it, and I feel like the romance, because it's a female-female romance, I feel like it will be really interesting, because it's kind of enemies to lovers, I assume, because Crier has nothing against Alia, but Alia wants to kill Crier, so it's one of those, you know, very angsty situations. We approve. I am gonna finish this vlog up here. It's only morning, but I am pretty busy. I'm moving the day after tomorrow, so you'll probably see that in the next vlog. But thank you so much for watching and sticking around with me. I hope it was an amusing vlog, and if you could like, subscribe, do all that jazz, that'd be great. But otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!